cities and states do not have sex sanctuary policies because the vast majority of American people are opposed to them. So I urge the city of Philadelphia and every sanctuary city to reconsider carefully the harm they are doing to their residents by refusing to cooperate with federal law enforcement. If we're going to stop the rise of violent crime, let's work together.
The Attorney General Jeff Sessions, earlier today, you heard him slamming sanctuary cities and urging them to reconsider their status in order to protect the American people from violent crimes that are committed by illegal immigrants. Joining us now to talk a little bit more about this is Gina Loudon. Gina's on the advisory board at the Donald J. Trump for President, Inc. Also with us is the immigration attorney and an immigration attorney for Melania Trump, former federal prosecutor as well, former NYPD officer Michael Wilds. A lot of titles there for Michael. So, let me start here with you, Michael, in the studio, because working in immigration law, whether it's for Mrs. Trump or anybody else, this has become a huge issue. What do you make of what the Attorney General's doing?
A hot-button subject. Our nation was born in Philadelphia, and here you have an Attorney General taking issue with the way they're deciding to exercise states' rights. For the Republican Party, states' rights is an abortion issue, states' rights is a gun issue. But when it comes to federal law, the preemption doctrine takes over the dialogue.
Right.
But police officers do not want to erode the trust that they have with people in their communities. And mayors and law enforcement had said, we are not trained to handle immigration enforcement. We are here to protect people.
So they should be able to keep their status, is your point?
The theory is that this is going to erode further trust, and this is not the way to go out in a Gestapo-like way and say, everybody who's a foreigner is a criminal, and you're now protecting criminals from being brought to justice. They should be brought to justice, but we have to do it in a humane fashion and with justice served through the Constitution as was declared in Philadelphia.
As the other side of that goes, Gina, I'm sure you would take it. Now, what you heard what Michael had to say, but what do you think of these sanctuary cities and what the administration and the current AG are trying to do?
I think it has to be done. The Gestapo-like tactics are those being used by the political cities just in order to obstruct what is the safekeeping of American citizens here. That's what we're talking about. And if you want to erode public trust, then don't protect citizens when that's your job to do it. Let me say that I hope that Attorney General Sessions will go after these people with the federal authority that he has and make an example of a couple of them, so that they begin to realize that they're not going to get away.
Right. They're worried about violence, they're worried about crime, they're worried
books.
about gangs like MS-13 and what have you. So what do you say to that, Michael?
Well, you know, quite honestly, immigrants perform heroic acts. They serve in the military. They are extraordinary fabric of our country. No doubt, every parent, every lawyer should be an adamant proponent to make sure that MS-13 and felons get deported. I'm a former federal prosecutor. I don't want federal felons to be able to have the right to be here.
No, the debate is over whether or not the cities themselves, whether Philadelphia, whether New York, San Francisco, whether these cities should get involved, right? So
well, I don't think cities have the authority on a matter of federal preemption
They shouldn't share
law.
Their information with the federal government.
Well, they have the right to be selective about it, but it's really up to the federal government to go out and do it. New York City Mayor Ed Koch years ago told us over a lunch, listen, if the federal government's serious about removing people, let them send the National Guard and the Federal Army in there. If not, I'm going to do my job as mayor to make sure every child is actually educated in my city limits.
Cities around the country. Go ahead, Gina.
And that's less Gestapo sending in military. We're not talking about immigrants here. Please don't confuse the subject, because the American audience is much smarter than this. We are talking about people who have already committed a crime. We are talking about illegal immigrants.
I agree with you on criminals, but they're talking about immigrants. I'm sorry, that's not true. They're talking about immigrants, not criminals.
It is the legal, it is protecting legal immigrants by getting rid of illegal immigrants who are committing crimes mostly on the legal immigrant population in this country.
One brief thought each. Go ahead, Michael and Gina.
That's not what's happening on the ground. They're now trying to enforce people who have never committed a crime. They're actually showing up with orders of supervision. It happened to a client of mine, and they're being deported from the United States without due process. That's not how we treat our criminals. That's not how we should treat our hospitality as a nation of immigrants.
The act of illegal immigration is a crime.
We'll keep talking about it.
Why are we denying that the word illegal doesn't mean illegal?
It probably didn't get as much attention today as it might have on any other day, but it did here. And got to end it there tonight, guys. A lively debate. though,
Pleasure.
Michael and Gina.
Thank you.
Our pleasure. Now, the markets today reacting, you might think, to the